No, but you actually give rise to the term hate fuck. Like, unironically, that is you.
Hello, everyone. Gabby here.
And I'm Brenna.
Welcome back to the mystery of everything. So,
Woo!
today's episode is NSFW. So, make sure you have headphones in. That is my warning. Because I think at the ending, I get into. I tell you guys how pegging came about. So, I don't know. A lot happens
so
here. So much happens. So the other day I was writing an episode on Forgotten Scientists for my YouTube channel, and I somehow ended up going down a rabbit hole about conception myths because I don't even remember what I was writing about, I'll be honest.
It's easy to go down rabbit holes.
I go down so many. It's actually really bad. And I only write about a few, and then I have one script just called Major Fucker G Khan, Genghis Khan, and I just never followed up.
That's why I have 5 half-written scripts right now. Is because I'm like, but wait, I could write about this too.
It's terrible, you guys. So I went down this rabbit hole of conception myths, which led to contraception in ancient times, which led to pregnancy tests in ancient times, and then just ended up being the history of condoms. So
When you were writing this, you texted me that picture and were like, would you?
So you guys will see. It'll be up on screen because I'm so glad we decided to do video for this because everybody needs to witness the pre-modern condom. So anyway, you're welcome. Here's an MOE episode of completely just rabbit holes related to sex. So to start off, let's talk about ancient Egyptians and how they prevented and tested for pregnancy, which I feel like you know some of these because we covered them in that one that you did.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So in order to perform a pregnancy test, ancient Egyptians actually had a surprisingly accurate test, which one of us needs to try next time because I really want to know if it works. I just want to know. I'm curious. You should have done that last year.
I should have done it.
So in order to test for pregnancy, they would place barley and wheat in a jar and urinate on it and seal the jar. And after 3 days, if there was no growth, the woman was not pregnant. But if after 3 days there was growth, she was pregnant. And this is because the elevated estrogen levels that are present during pregnancy would cause the seeds to grow.
I'm so curious about it, but I do not plan on.
Are we another kid?
For a while.
It's gonna be just like a one. Are you gonna be like me 7 years later? Do I want one? Do I not want one?
Me and my siblings are 4, almost 5 years apart. I got time. Yeah.
There's never any timeline on it because at this point I'm like, I might when I'm 40 get bored. Like if I'm not traveling anymore, I might just be like, you want a sibling?
My sister-in-law is.
Oh God, Joy would be like almost 18 by the time I'm 40.
My sister-in-law, they're like 38. Just had my nephew, and my best friend, her dad. The day she graduated college, her dad found out he was having another baby. She was the baby, and then the day she graduated, yeah, it happens.
Horrific. I don't know if I would. I wouldn't want a surprise. I'll be real. It had to be like a
21-year age gap is like.
I wouldn't want it to be like a surprise because I think when I'm 40, Joy will be like 17. I want to say, right? Because I had her at 23.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I wouldn't want to be surprised. It'd have to be like I was bored. A very conscious decision. Like I'm bored. I got nothing going on.
I don't know about it. Gus was not a conscious decision. I was watching a vampire show on TV.
Also, we'll just put these rambles on Patreon.
Yeah, that's what we're doing now.
It's rough out here. Anyway, back to the show. So I've talked about this with Steve on the History of Everything podcast, but in ancient Egypt, they used crocodile dung, honey, and sodium carbonate, which was then mixed into a highly acidic paste.
I need to know how they come up with these things. Like, who's doing the random mixing to be able to...
Well, you've been pregnant before. I'm sure some woman out there was like, they're not catching me slipping. Never again. So
I'm going to do anything I can do right now.
I mean, I've been there. I've been there. I'd be like, I'd try it at this point.
But it just makes me wonder, how do you get the idea to try? Like, what made someone think, like, crocodile dung?
I don't know. But they would then insert that gross paste into their vagina before sex in order to act as a spermicide.
I didn't know that's where that was going.
So there wasn't. Whenever I wrote this, apparently I never wanted to get pregnant again, so I was desperate enough to try it. That has obviously changed.
Yeah.
I don't. It's because
I feel you.
if I could
Yeah.
get pregnant and just stay pregnant, then I'll be like, we chilling. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't know. So anyway, there was an alternative method of just boiling medicines and then squatting over the boiling water so that the steam would act as a spermicide. But I don't know.
think that.
I don't know if that would work.
I feel like that wouldn't work. But didn't people do those yoni cleanses, the vagina
What?
steams? There's like someone out there is like, maybe. I know what you're talking about, Brenna. I've never done it. But like you see them on the interweb. It's like yoni, which I guess is another word for your vagina. I don't know. But it's like a cleanse where it's this ball of like herbs and you like boil it and then you sit on top of it and it like steams like a tea for your vagina. It steams it.
What does it do?
I don't know.
You just do it?
Rejuvenation.
Love of the game. Just I'll try it. I'll try anything
I
once.
mean, I'd try it. They also put something inside too. I don't know if I'd try that one just because like pH and stuff. I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
if
I don't want
wanna-
to mess with pH because like
I don't want to put random herbs up inside her.
I just want to know like the first person to be like I feel like alligator dung would be really. What were they thinking? And
They
what?
were probably thinking, what is thick enough that I can block that stuff from going?
Also like does it smell? Because like then when he comes over and he maybe they weren't doing all of that.
Or
Close.
maybe it's like an aphrodisiac.
The smell of alligator dung in the
And
morning.
he walks in the room and he smells alligator dung and he's like, oh man.
He got classically
I know what
conditioned.
you're thinking.
I don't know.
Gets the people going.
So there were other forms of birth control in ancient Egypt, but we also know that they used an unspecified plant according to the Ebers Papyrus, which was a medical document from the 1500s, like BC. This plant was able to end a pregnancy in any trimester, allegedly. We aren't sure if they utilized this method often or what the reasons were for utilizing it, but it did exist and it was known. So I'm assuming somebody did it or they found it by accident, so they wrote about it. I don't know.
I am curious what the plant was.
I know.
There are plants that they use today.
There was one, I forgot what it was called. I think it was Rome or somewhere where they actually over harvested it because they used it as birth control.
Yeah.
But I don't
There's
remember what it's
one
called.
that causes abortions. I can't remember what it's called either, but you got to be careful with it. Like if you're a person that uses teas and stuff, what is it called?
I don't know.
I have some at my house. Mugwort. I'm pretty sure mugwort. I could be wrong on this. I'm pretty sure mugwort causes abortion.
Do you like drink it?
Or not causes abortion, I guess.
Miscarriage.
Miscarriage, yeah. You keep talking. I'm going to Google it, but I think it's mugwort.
So, in ancient Greek, Hippocrates wrote that women would prevent conception by banning sperm on command. When he wrote the sperm in the 5th century BC, saying, and I quote, when a woman has intercourse, if she's going to conceive, then it is her practice to expel the sperm produced by both partners whenever she wishes to do so. Then we had Plato and Aristotle arguing that men's sperm produced babies and women were just the easy bake ovens that cooked them.
Oh.
I would prefer just being the easy baked oven versus Hippocrates, who was like, girl, you got pregnant because you wanted to be pregnant. Like, he was like, you need to deal with it. You need to expel that sperm.
Yeah, this is your expel.
He wrote a whole book on the sperm. That's a medical guy, you know, like you take the Hippocratic Oath.
Yeah.
Yeah, some solid science there.
Mugwort, also known as Artemisia vulgaris, I didn't say the first name right, is a plant that has been used historically in folk medicine to stimulate menstruation and in high doses as an herb to induce abortion or miscarriage.
Huh. Did not know
But
that.
it's unreliable, potentially toxic, and dangerous.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Don't take mugwort for those reasons.
Yeah.
Do people drink it just for like other reasons?
I feel like, yeah, I don't know. One time I was trying to be a witch. I wasn't really, but like I was super I was super into crystals and stuff. I still am, just not to the same extent. But I bought a bunch of herbs that I have no idea what were. I went to the like Botany Bay store and just bought so many herbs. And then they sat in a bag in my house for years. They're still somewhere in a bag, but mugwort's one of them. I don't know what.
You don't use it?
No,
It's
I
just there?
didn't use a single one of them. I hyperfixated for a very short amount of time. The crystals was actually a couple years. The
Oh my God.
the herbs and shit was a very short amount of time, and then I was over it.
And you're no
But-
longer a witch.
I don't want to give myself like a title or nothing.
Oh my God. Okay. So, yeah, Plato and Aristotle kind of like had the right idea, I guess, about sperm. Good for them. But don't worry, Hippocrates made sure everyone knew what to do if there was an unwanted pregnancy from a woman's failure to expel the sperm. So he said, quote, shake her by her armpits and give her to drink the roots of sweet earth almond.
Just give her a
Which-
little armpit shake.
Yeah, and almonds are yummy, but I don't think they cause, maybe sweet earth almond is different.
What would even make him be like, this is it?
That's
Like,
not all, though. He also said if shaking her by her armpits didn't work, women should jump up and down with her heels touching her butt.
For one, that's a hard ask.
So, in the Patreon exclusive, we're gonna try shaking each other by our armpit.
And then Gab's gonna jump up and kick herself in the butt.
Isn't that just like a reverse high kick?
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like.
you do this for warm ups when you run track. At least I did. But yeah, Aristotle, though, he had more practical solutions. Lead. That's it. That's the solution. Just take some lead. I feel like they use lead for a lot of stuff, though, right?
Paint.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Did you see where, like, obviously women can't just expel sperm, but there's like new studies that show that the egg can like kind of like if it doesn't like your sperm, then she can be like get on, and she can just kick you out. I think that's kind of cool. if I
Women
do
are
say
so
myself.
bossy. We control everything.
Literally, like she
That was the
doesn't.
worst hair
I
flip.
don't like the shape of that tail. Get out of here.
I feel like it's good though because what if his sperm's wonky and she's like that one?
That's the thing too. Is like I looked at. No, we're not doing that.
Were you? Oh,
The microscope.
yeah.
It makes
I know
you,
what she did.
If you look at them under a microscope, it kind of makes you sad because they have their own little personalities and stuff. And like some are trying so hard to get to an egg, and there's just not an egg because you're on a microscope slide. So
And how did we get there?
and you're just going into the trash bin in a second. It's just sad. It makes you a little sad.
You're guilting all our male followers right now.
And some of them just swim in circles, and you're like, whew, dodged a bullet. I'm sorry. We might have to cut that.
I'm leaving it in. I'm actually leaving that in. But yeah, moving on. I mentioned earlier that they had animal skin condoms, but some ancient pharaohs were found to have cloth condoms as part of their grave goods for all the sex they would obviously be having in the afterlife.
Grave goods, that's like when they're buried with all of their treasure.
Yeah, so they'll need stuff for the afterlife. So
Right.
you would want to bring your condoms so you don't knock up any afterlife women.
That's so funny that they genuinely thought I'm gonna be doing it so much in this afterlife. And they might be. They might be.
I'm not judging. Get freaky with it all you want.
Mm-hmm.
This does not concern me.
Heard that.
And it was said that the linen condoms that they actually used to prevent diseases were all in different colors that represented different social classes. That's crazy to me because like you couldn't even
You couldn't
Bang.
even pretend.
Yeah.
Like
they're like actually you're too poor. Get your purple condom away from me. I don't know what color it
that's
would have been.
wild that even back in the day they're like, no.
No, broke bitches.
Literally.
Oh my
Mm-mm.
god.
Get away, peasant.
I would be so hurt if I like got to the point of sex where you see their condom and
And they're
then
like, oh,
brokey.
actually, no broke boys.
That would kill me so bad. So we know that the earliest depiction of a condom was found on a 13,000-year-old cave painting in the Grotte de Cambareia in France. And I'll be honest, guys, we're going to talk about condoms real quick because I found an article on it. And it was not, in fact, quick. Most of this is about condoms.
That's fun, though. I think it's fun.
So
I'm here for it.
according to history.com, history.com.
We know where your mind is at.
You know,
You're the crocodile dung or alligator dung.
according to history.com, the word condom was used for the first time in 1706 in a poem by Lord Belhaven, where it was spelled condom, so C-O-N-D-U-M. It was also in Francis Gross's 1785 book called A Classical Dictionary of the Vulgar Tongue, which defined condom, which is C-O-N-D-U-M. Then in the 19th century, many different code names were used, like baudruches,
Mm.
which like French letters, safes, armors, machines. You know, they gave them cool names.
Yeah.
Like I would prefer to call it
Armor,
anything.
Machines. None of those sound girly.
They don't.
No.
I feel like armor. Do you have an
Safes,
armor?
machines. Sound manly.
So that's the origin of the word. Let's talk about the evolution of the device. So after that cave painting in France of what looked like an animal skin condom, in Greek mythology, King Minos of Crete used a condom to protect his wife from his semen, which he had to do that because his semen contains serpents and scorpions.
What? Say what?
Yeah. So what a guy. Like around this time it was believed that a goat's bladder was used as a condom during intercourse. I'm starting to think men would wrap it in literally anything they could find back in the day, but I just want to say that that one king whose wife like still slept with him after he would serpent and scorpion. I don't care if he were the king of anything. I'm not doing it.
I don't understand.
I don't either. So,
I do. I have a quick question.
yeah.
Where did they make their own condoms?
I'd
did-
assume so. I know eventually they started to sell condoms, but they were too expensive for like the average person. So I'm assuming people just like,
So literally, like, I'd probably go slaughter my goat out back and then, ew,
you're sacrificing your goat for sex.
just for a little, probably.
I mean, it depends on how bad you want it without wanting a kid or a venereal. The venereal diseases were pretty
Those were
bad
probably
back
scarier,
then.
but I wonder if they even knew. Like, I don't know. Did they know? Like, my dick's starting to fall off. We probably have to cut that, but
No, we can leave it in.
we could
I
bleep
think.
out
I'll
the
just
word
bleep.
D.
I'm trying to look because like, do you watch Bridgerton?
Haven't watched the new season.
I haven't either, but apparently someone was like, as Esme Louise, I love her. She does a lot of she's a sex historian, I'm pretty sure. But it says, does Benedict Bridgerton have syphilis? And I'm sure like back then they would have had some form of condom. So I'm sure he wasn't like, but it says probably because STIs were rife in London in the Regency period. And historians have estimated that 1 in 5 Londoners have had syphilis by the age of 35.
And then it makes you lose your mind completely.
Yep.
Right.
And then in chlamydia, like, you know, is not detectable. Well, it's not detectable in women, but I'm pretty sure it hurts men or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people also had gonorrhea and chlamydia, and those were more common than syphilis. Condoms existed more or less. They were accessible to the rich. They were made of sheep's or goat's gut, which were pickled and scented. While they provided some protection from venereal disease, they were widely mocked, often referred to as an English riding coat.
Pickled.
Yeah. And the only treatment available at the time for syphilis was mercury. Patients could receive mercury pills or have it inserted into the afflicted genitals. And this is like,
But then wouldn't you die of
kinky
mercury
history.
poisoning?
oh yeah, every
You're
medicine.
gonna die no matter what.
But it's Esme Louise. I'll link her. I'll probably link this in the video because love her stuff. One day, if she's ever like in the US from Australia, I'm gonna be like, hey, you wanna collab? Because she's so cool. Have you ever seen her stuff?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god, her stuff's
Now
so
I'm gonna have to.
great. Okay, but yeah, what were we talking about?
What were we talking
Condoms.
about? Oh, we were talking about. I asked if they were
Making them.
if they're making them, or if they were sold, and then you were talking about serpents and scorpions and someone's semen.
Also, the sheepskin condoms. This is what we were talking about earlier. From the 1800s, guys, they were reusable because I think a lot of the condoms back then were, and they were
Yeah.
super bulky. And I'm not even joking. There's no way in hell I'd let you guys can see it on screen now because I'll put it up. Nobody's getting in me with that.
So that is what Gabby sent me in a text message saying, "Would you let someone hit if they had that?" I will say
What if they're using it like they're hooking up with other
that
girls?
was my first question: is how many times have they used it before me?
Because at that point, the condom is only protecting the guy. If it's a reusable condom and then he's just hitting every other night like a new girl, we're cooked.
Yep. Just the thought of the juices.
Why'd you have to say juices?
But if it was like a fresh, obviously that's an extreme. I hope none of my family members are listening to this episode. That's the extreme. But I mean, picture it. You're a young maiden. I don't know how young. I don't know. You're 17, probably. I don't know.
Regency,
You're
maybe?
young
I don't
enough
know.
that you're
18?
raging with hormones, And if your one thought process is I'm trying to get it in, but also not trying to be doomed for the rest of society because I'm impregnated now and an old maid or something like that, you'd probably let that thing slide on in.
Also, yeah.
I don't know if it would slide because it doesn't
I
look.
don't think
There
it
would be
slide.
friction for sure.
You would need some sort of lube because there's just
No, that is
no.
rough.
Also, that would hurt. Like, you know when you
Yeah, that's like shoving cotton or something.
TMI, but if you do it enough, you know how you get sore.
Yeah.
That is leaving you
No,
after
that'd
one
be rough.
round,
But
half
what
a
about,
round.
like, aren't there like sheepskin? I feel like that would be more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I imagine.
I've never touched sheep.
I-
I mean, I've touched sheepskin, but not
But I imagine it would be more smooth. I don't know.
well. But
I don't know. That looks rough.
it doesn't look very good. The good news is in early Chinese civilizations, they used silk paper condoms and oil for lubrication, as well as thin leather condoms. So at least
See, that sounds better, but then in the same breath, well, leather probably wouldn't, but stuff breaking apart inside you, paper.
well, it's like silk paper, so it's like more. It's not crumply, you know. I feel like it'll hold together.
If it gets wet.
Do you get toxic shock? Like, you know when you get toxic shock from a tampon? Like, what if a piece
Yeah.
of the tampon breaks off in you? Do you still get it?
I
I
would
think about
imagine,
that
yeah.
a lot. Oh, okay. I think about that a lot. Scary stuff.
I don't use tampons really because I'm scared. I did back in high school. I used to sleep with them. This is a lot of information, but I used to sleep with them and I did not give a shit. I didn't care at all. I was like, no pads here, girl. We're gonna edit that out, or we'll just put a big bleep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put out like your lips will be moving, and you can only understand if you lip read.
There you go.
So, in 15th century Europe, condoms were the norm because of French pox, aka syphilis. Gabriello Falloppio, an Italian anatomist, wrote about the condom, saying it was a linen sheath that was fastened with a ribbon. Again, these were washable and reusable. Imagine some guy using the same condom on different women, though. Like, you're screwing
No,
over all
that's-
these women. Like,
That's so gross.
right? Then in the 17th century, the Japanese used the kabuto gata, which was a condom that was made from a tortoise shell horn. They also, I don't understand how the tortoise shell horn condom would even work. Am I
don't
wrong?
understand that. How big is a tortoise?
I don't know.
How big is a tortoise?
See what I mean? Like, that was disturbing. But then they also had a leather version called the kawagata, which was theorized that these were introduced when they started trading with the Dutch. And I don't know about you, but at one point, does the tortoiseshell condom just become a fleshlight that they insert? Because I don't think the stimulation is going to come from sex, right?
Yeah, I'm so confused.
Like, it's just like if you have like you've seen a fleshlight. It's just
Mhm.
like if you inserted that bad boy. That's my,
Yeah.
So anyway,
Uh-huh.
the Industrial Revolution happened because then they got some really better condoms, improved condoms. Prior to 1840, condoms cost $1, which wasn't great because the average weekly salary was about $14. So you'd
Dang.
be paying a chunk of your cash to not getting someone pregnant. I guess a kid would be more expensive.
I was gonna say, but then people used to have like 14 kids, but then it depends on where you live, because a lot of places you needed 14 kids, because if not, how are you gonna run a farm if
Well,
you
not
don't
in the
have
little
14 kids?
Towns, like, because the Industrial Revolution, that's when they
Oh,
slapped
yeah,
everyone into
yeah.
the cities, and it was
Yeah.
horrendous living conditions. Like,
No,
they
you
didn't have
don't-
space.
You can't have like a 4-year-old working on the railroad. They can maybe milk a cow. They can't work on the railroad.
So, in addition, the condoms that they had back then were bulky. They had to be clean. It was a whole lot of effort, as you can imagine, based on everything I described. So people started experimenting with different materials. An attempt was made to use gutta percha, which was gutta percha. Not sure how to say that, but it was a type of latex
Okay.
to make a waterproof fabric condom. But these condoms didn't hold up. They were too thick and they crumbled. So that could get left in there. And
No.
then Charles Goodyear, of all people,
Like the Goodyear blimp?
probably rubber. I don't know if they named it after him.
Goodyear. I feel like that Goodyear is not a common name.
No.
So it's probably the same one that the blimp goes by that says Goodyear.
Probably named after him. But I don't he didn't die rich though. So that's the thing.
Oh.
So he patented his process of vulcanization of rubber, which, mind you, he accidentally discovered by accident in 1839. Basically, vulcanization is when you heat rubber with sulfur to transform it from sticky into a strong material. His process actually saved the rubber industry, and honestly, he deserves an entire episode himself because even after all of this, he somehow died destitute because of a ton of legal battles over his patent.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's
So,
so sad.
I think they maybe just named a company after him, I'd imagine. I have to look into the Goodyear company.
Now I'm curious.
But without him, we probably wouldn't have the amount of rubber goods that we have today. And thanks to rubber vulcanization, in 1855, the first vulcanized rubber condom was released to the general public, which brought down the price significantly. And things are going great for the condom industry. They had a reliable, flexible, thinner condom that didn't cost a lot of money. But, of course, all good things have to get dunked on by men who can't mind their own business. So, remember, I feel like we've talked about the Comstock Act. But anyway, the Comstock Act of 1873, they made it where condoms could only become marketed as disease preventatives and made them harder to obtain as they could not be mailed because this was the Comstock guy. I think it was in New York where he saw like all of the marketing stuff for different things that he thought were inappropriate that he just decided to just shut down everything that was inappropriate because he was in charge of the mail, I'm pretty sure. So he wrote letters and then he got power and then, yeah.
What?
It's a super fun.
So I figured out Goodyear.
Mm-hmm.
The Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. See there? Okay. It was founded by Frank, but
He took his name?
Frank Cyberling in Akron, Ohio. The company's namesake comes from Charles Goodyear because he invented vulcanization process that made commercial rubber possible. So he did name it after Charles Goodyear.
So I would take that as an insult because you make money off of my name, but I didn't make
So
money
now
off
the
of my
rest of your
name.
life, your family's gonna make money off my family's name.
Maybe they were friends because that's a dick move. I don't know. I'm not judging Goodyear, but
Now,
like
Charles Goodyear was 1839. The Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company was founded in 1898. So way later.
Maybe it was a tribute. Maybe they were
I
like
say way later, but that's not that later.
it was
But
60
anyways,
something,
yeah.
40 something. I can't do math. Sorry guys, my brain doesn't work. We've been recording a while.
We've been going strong.
Oh, where was I? I don't know. Oh, no. Oh, we were talking about Comstock. Yeah. But then, during the World Wars, different armies provided condoms to their troops at the beginning of World War I, particularly the French and German armies, and they had the forethought to, like, prevent sexually transmitted diseases to their troops, which, good for them, right? The British and the Americans, though, they did not issue condoms. At least at first, due to the morality police that they didn't want their soldiers to participate in extramarital sex. So they're like, we're not going to give you condoms to do that. But having condoms is not going to stop soldiers from extramarital sex. So by 1917, 5% of British soldiers were not able to fight due to STIs. So they started issuing condoms.
Yeah.
And then a year later, the US did the same. Like every single time they're like they're going to do it. They shouldn't, but they do. Then, in the 1920s, latex condoms were introduced, and these were also much cheaper and easier to make. Latex condoms also improved the shelf life of condoms from 3 months to 5 years. And because of how World War I went, in World War II, the U.S. Army issued condoms to all troops and included condom use in military training films. I just would love to see one of those. I would pay good money to see a military condom use training film. Like, how do you think it went?
There's got to be one out there.
I'm sure it said something along the lines of, make sure you wrap it before you tap it.
Yeah.
Like, I would volunteer to make one of those training films, just for fun. Then, after the war, condoms shifted from disease prevention to a form of contraception. They became the main method of family planning between 1955 and 1965. However, after the 60s, they started to become less used due to the development of birth control pills and IUDs. And now, today, we have flavored condoms, textured condoms, lubed condoms, spray-on condoms. And yeah.
Spray-on?
Yeah, apparently there's spray-on condoms. I don't know what that would entail. I mean, does it work? Or is it just like aesthetic?
That's worth some more research.
Get on that.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
But yeah, I learned so much from the condom stuff. But yeah, to end this clusterfuck of an info dump, I'm going to tell you about the fact that the term pegging is actually younger than us.
What?
So back in 2001, Someone with the pen name Straight Boys Have Prostates Too. I love that name so much, man.
I mean, they're not wrong.
So they wrote into the Savage Love Sexual Advice column saying, probably my favorite sex act is to be fucked by a woman wearing a strap on. Every other sex act under the sun, from blowjobs to facials to scat, has a catchy one-word name, but not a man getting beeped in the ass by a woman wearing a strap on.
Yep.
Could you come up with a name for this activity, if only for the sake of those of us who place ads in the personals?
Yeah.
So Dan Savage invited fans to come up with a name for this activity, and he announced in May 2001 that more than 12,000 votes had been cast for the term peg. It had boiled down to 3 options: punt, bob, and peg. I could never take it seriously. They're like, I want you to punt me in the or bob me.
Bob should be thrown out.
This is bobbing and punting. Punting sounds very
into
like
bobbing.
sporty.
And then if you're named Bobby, though, like
You're cooked.
You're
There's gonna be so many bleeps. I don't even know how to bleep. I'm gonna have to learn while I'm editing.
This will be fun.
So, yeah, thank God Peg won. I don't want to spend time punting or bobbing my husband, you know? I don't know. Steve's gonna love that I said that on here. He's gonna be like, what?
What's the thing? Never mind.
I want to know what you were gonna ask.
It's like, God, I hope none of my family listens to this episode. Where one person's circumcised and one person's uncircumcised, and you pull the skin over.
I know what you're talking
is it
about, but I don't know what it's
called?
called.
Anyway, so write us in and tell us.
But if you enjoyed
Sounding?
No, sounding is when you stick something up the urethra. A man's urethra, not yours. You're fine. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, you just go. You never watched it. I get bored.
No,
This is going on Patreon.
Sounding.
But yeah, bye guys.
Bye.